And then the issues I'd want to talk to you about is your staff. Do you have people who are currently maintaining this? Do you outsource that? Are they vendors? And if so, are you happy with them, or are you looking for someone else? If you are, I have some suggestions for the type of people you want to look for. Those individuals who tend to be better at meeting needs long term. And then uh, there's also, um, if you need some like real recommendations of who we've used in the past, I can also give those names. There's one company that I thoroughly enjoy working for or working with for these type of projects when it's Windows based, and also for storage and for the backups. There's another company that I've been developing a relationship with, and I think they're wonderful. They are both experts at it, and you deal with the experts, not necessarily with uh, the sales uh, the sales type person. So uh, then if you do have your staff, who are your staff's backup when they come across something they don't know? Because it's unreasonable to expect one person to know it all, or two people, or an entire IT department to have been exposed to everything that you may come across. Now, this looks like a smaller solution, so I'd be surprised if there's more than one person involved. But if there is, we need to have them involved in this conversation, unless there's something I'm not aware of as far as that relationship. Uh, let's talk about budgets. VDC is you end up paying for bandwidth and memory. So you say, oh, okay, I need this much bandwidth and I need this much memory, and that is what you pay for. You could pay per instance of server. That's how a lot of um, vendors provide it. I don't like that model myself, because I'd rather pay for 16 gigs of memory that I'm able to break up into the servers that I want. And if I wanted 6 servers with 2 gigs on each server, and then I could have one server with the remainder. Uh, it allows me to make all those decisions. You can go the other way though. You will end up paying more per instance if it's managed. So um, uh, the bandwidth, depending on who you're talking to, the bandwidth is paid for on either metered or burstable rate. Highly recommend going with the burstable rate as a valid option. You just pay, okay, I'm going to pay for 10 meg, and that can burst up to 30. And you pay for the 95th percentile. In other words, if you whatever if you end up utilizing 30 the entire month, then you're going to pay the 30 rate. Uh, it might be a little confusing, since most of the time people coming to this model have only paid on an ISP, and they say you're paying for this, and everybody knows that's not what you're getting. You might be paying for 20 and you might get 11. In this case, you're going to pay for 10 and you could get up to 30. So it's a much it's the inverse of a home office scenario. Um, for colo, you're going to be paying for power and space depending on the data center. So power, you want to make sure that you have redundant power coming in, and that to the rack, so you can not have disruptions based on outages. And then the more equipment you have in there, the more power that's drawn. So your power needs will be assessed, and then you'll be quoted a price to pay for the power. And if you're going to be sprawling, if you're going to be taking up a lot of space, you'll also need to consider that as an issue with going with colo. Um, for and with colo, you'll also once again be paying for bandwidth, and so depending on the co-location, you can pay the data center for connectivity, and that's actually my preferred method. I like only one bill, but if you already have a relationship with a provider, you'll want to make sure that your data center can connect to them directly. So in Boise, there's pretty much 3 data centers that you'd probably be using for colo, possibly. Two are the you know 2 are on my list of options, and I have one that's a recommendation. So